Hello everyone, this is Takekayo and I'm a Vancouver photographer. I call myself BigHeadTaco, so find me on the internet, whatever. We're here to unbox the brand new Canon EOS R. Just trying to do an echo sound. The Canon EOS R kit, which includes the 24 to 105. This is something that's been highly anticipated, not just by Canon EOS shooters, but as well anyone that's really looking forward to full frame mirrorless, because APS-C mirrorless has been around. Canon has even their EOS M series, which I actually love, and I reviewed a couple of them on my own YouTube channel. But this brings something different. It gives you full frame and it gives you access to some big lenses, as well as no crop factor when you use the EF lenses with the adapter, which I will be doing an unboxing as well. And just before I move on, people might be wondering, well, why am I doing this unboxing video? Well, because I like London Drugs. For those of you that aren't from Western Canada, London Drugs have been selling. They've had a pretty good and well-stocked camera department since like the 1950s, and they have knowledgeable staff. They still do E6. They have an E6 machine. They do 1 hour. I've worked with London Drugs for the past 20 odd years or so while I've been in the photo industry, and there's a lot of respect that I have for the company itself and knowledgeable staff. They make sure that they're well trained. And this camera here that I have here, I bought this from them. It's my first autofocus DSLR. Well, it wasn't DSLR, it's a film camera. There's no film in here, but it's a film camera. But I bought this back in 1994, and it still works. And so I've bought cameras from them for many years, and it's a great brand to work with. So thank you, London Drugs, for inviting me to do some collaboration videos, and thank you again, Canon Canada, for allowing me to do this unboxing, untouched, unopened box. I know Peter McKinnon already got an early copy. Peter, he got an early copy, but his wasn't in a box. I have the box, brand new, untouched, and fresh, and it feels a lot lighter than I thought, but this is mirrorless, it should be lighter. So anyways, let's start the unboxing, and then I'll give you my first impressions, and let's start now. We'll start with the main camera here and the kit, and then of course we will unbox the mount adapter as well, just because we have it. Alright, so this is a true unboxing because this was never opened before. I did open it just to make sure it was never open, and I don't even know what is this, warranty card? Who cares about this? Actually, I shouldn't say that. You should fill this out if you want full support from Canon, either USA or Canada, with the serial numbers, and this is good for insurance purposes as well. So make sure that all matches on the box, on the warranty card, and on your camera itself. So we have all that. And first thing is a fully printed out manual. It comes in 3 different languages. And you know, these new cameras, there's so much to them right now that I would highly recommend to take this along. I think that's kind of why it's so small. Take it along with you, because as you dig through menus, I'm sure there's some features that you're not aware of exactly what it does. That's great, a full printed manual. And this is the thing that some people were not happy about, and I don't know why, which is the proper battery. I shouldn't say proper, but it's the same battery that is on the DSLR ones, the LP E6N battery, and this is it's backwards compatible. You can put the older batteries in here, although I think the USB charging might not work, but the 5D has is a 6D, the 70D, the 80D. So if you are again coming from legacy DSLR Canon bodies, then all your batteries and your chargers and everything works. So I think that's fantastic. So there's that. And this here looks like, what's in here? This looks like some kind of a, oh I see, as you have different wires coming into the Canon body, you can run your wires here so they don't get snagged and pulled right out of the body, but we'll double check on this later. And this looks like it is just a USB Type-C connector for, I think, transferring information as well as in-body charging. So we'll leave that aside there. And one of the things I actually really appreciate with Canon is that they have fantastic chargers. Now, that might seem like a silly thing to brag about or to be excited about, but some brands, they give you, so you have your charger and then they give you another, like a 10-foot, 6-foot cable to plug it in the wall. I never like that because I use power bars. So I don't need a cable that runs to the wall, and see how it just kind of side like that. So when you travel with the charger, it's not a big deal. So I'll just leave this off the side here and let's go down to the next layer. And next layer here, we have lens hood. Fantastic. We'll see that for later. That's for the kit lens. And what do we have here? Looks like we have a decent lens case. And man alive, that looks pretty big. So this is a pretty decent kit. A lot of brands don't even give you a little lens case, so minimal protection, but within a camera bag, this will be reasonably protected. So we'll put that off to the side. And finally, the iconic Canon camera strap. Now, I am the type that likes to change the strap so it doesn't have the brand, and the model number that's kind of blazing across, but some of you guys like it. And Canon makes some of the best sort of OEM straps. It's nice and wide, so as you carry heavier lenses, and it is the slit style strap, so that I'm used to like Leicas and Fujifilm with the ring style, so this style is more of a DSLR type. And so just remember that when you're buying third-party straps, that's the type you have to get. And now we get to the most important layer, which is where the cameras lie. Because this was never opened before, I guess this is where the serial numbers are, and everything matches to the body. So let's begin. Let us begin this unboxing. Wow, look at that. Now this, as I mentioned, when I lifted the box felt pretty light. But in terms of size, it's quite substantial. Here, I actually have a Fujifilm here. This is the X-H1 with in-body image stabilization, but this is a crop APS-C size sensor. And as you can see, in terms of the grip, they're about the same size. But this is a full frame, and that kind of makes a big deal. In fact, let's take this lens hood off. Now the shutter, that's the one thing about the Canon is nice with the shutter curtain, but the curtain is about the size of the sensor, so you can see there is quite a significant size difference. So that's the kind of the first thing I noticed here. So this, again, just for size, this is a full frame mirrorless and is about the size of the Fujifilm X-H1. So it really shows you the compactness of the EOS R. And the full articulating screen, which is something that's been a big deal for a lot of vloggers, as well as YouTubers and people that sort of like myself who shoot video by myself. It is nice. I know you can buy an external monitor, but it is nice to have a fully articulating screen, even for the fact of protection, right? So when you don't need it and you're always going to be using your EVF, or in the case of a DSLR with Canon's, the OEF, it is nice to be able to protect it. And as I hold this in my hand, everything kind of seems to drop into place where I want it. With the only, I shouldn't say exception, the only thing is this slider that's new to the EOS R system. And I know some have complained about it. Some feel they don't know yet if they want to use it. I don't know, because this is just an unboxing, but it does land just where your thumb is. On and off, dedicated to the left. So it seems like pretty much to the left of the camera itself. They just don't want anything there. So it looks like it's very right-hand driven, which is fine. And all the buttons feel nice. This is weather sealed to about a 6D Mark II level. So it's not a 5D Mark IV level, but it is still reasonably weather sealed, and you can sort of feel that in this front dial. There's a little bit of a resistance there. The D-pad here has a nice little resistance, and it's reasonably recessed, but not so far in that you have to search for it. But everything, again, like I said, it kind of feels like it is where it should be, other than maybe the AF on button. If you do a lot of back focus, it's right where I can almost press it with sort of like the joint of my thumb here. Most people are used to having it there, but I understand why they put this here, because if you put this here and your thumb is resting, it seems like you're always going to be putting your finger on this touchpad. So I kind of understand why it's there. I'll see if I can get used to that. Menus to the left, I have to kind of get used to that. So other than the on and off, there is one other button here, which is the menu select, which is in the far left corner. So everything sort of seems where it should be. Again, here, the strap lugs here, it's the slit style, but it's not as wide as some, but it is quite thick. So you can find third-party straps that if you want to add something, add a little bit of flair, which I like with straps, you know, kind of go off the OEM. But again, Canon makes some pretty nice OEM straps, and this is a nice wide one. And so, maybe I'll give it a try. We'll see. So that's the body. So let's just move this. Let's get to the lens. Let's see what this lens is all about. All right, and here is the 24-105. Again, lighter than I thought. In terms of size, I know this is smaller than the standard EF 24-105, and it's lighter and smaller, but it's still quite a hefty lens. But considering the focal range that you're getting, it's pretty decent. And so I'm gonna put it onto the body, and I'm gonna move this box because I don't think there's anything else to see. Let's just see here. There's nothing else to see, so that's everything. Empty box. Let's just move that off to the side, and let's bring back the camera, the body itself, and the lens. So let's put it on. So I brought the camera down a little bit lower because now the unboxing is done. I can just sort of do more of a close-up. Again, as I mentioned, with the battery out, the shutter closes in on itself, which is actually a good thing, as it keeps the dust off the sensor. And here again is the charger. And why can't I figure out how to take, there you go. So here's the battery. I said I was gonna start charging while I'm doing the unboxing, but I did not. And so I should really start charging the battery. But before I do so, again, if you turn the camera on, you can hear that. It protects the sensor, which is fantastic. So let's just put the lens on, and then I'm going to, again, let's put it on here. Let's just see what happens. See that? You can hear that. You can hear that the shutter opens up. So this is, now, move all these accessories out of the way. This is the Canon EOS R with the kit 24-105. Now the filter thread size here is 77 millimeters, so that is quite large. If you have other Canon lenses, you probably, and you're buying L series lenses, the Pro series lenses, you will have access to filter threads of this size, so that's great. And just as a quick comparison, I do have a cropped sensor, APS-C Sony with an older legacy Minolta lens, f2.8. This is a 24-105 f4, but you can see in terms of lens size, again, it's not equivalent focal lengths, but considering you're getting 24-105 versus 28-70, albeit there being a stop difference, you could see the size that they can design these lenses smaller. And as well, definitely because there is no mirror box, the back flange distance on the EOS R is, I think, 20 millimeters. Most DSLRs are at least 40. A lot of them are about 46. So the distance between the flange and the sensor is more than double. And with that shorter flange distance, it allows for more design possibilities with the various lenses, and you can see that definitely Canon has done that. Yeah, so you can see here, this is a Fujifilm X-H1, although it's cropped. This is cropped. This has image stabilization. This also has sensor-based stabilization. But in terms of size, this is a full frame. These two are not, and you can see the various size differences. And of course, there are much smaller mirrorless full frames by other brands like Sony, and there's also bigger because the Leica SL is quite a monstrous full frame mirrorless camera. And so I think this Canon kind of sits in the middle for size. There is an optional grip that you can get with the EOS R, and that's fantastic. But again, here's the sort of comparison in terms of size. and here is the camera. So let's now, unboxing is done. Again, this is a fantastic looking camera. It feels, so if you're coming from DSLR going to this, you're gonna have no problems. Your batteries, especially if you're coming from the Canon EOS, if you have, coming from a 70D or 80D, or if you have any of the full frame, this is the newest Digic 8 processor, and processing power makes a big difference, not just for image quality, but for the different features that the Canon can update. And they have promised a lot of firmware updates, because there are some things that feels like Canon has kind of locked out, or they've sort of didn't release all the power of this, because this is not a pro level body yet. This is probably kind of at the 70 or 80D level, but on a full frame mirrorless. Because Canon has yet to create a full frame mirrorless system, they have the EOS, the M series, and that's the cropped, and they've never went pro with that. This one, you could tell by the lenses, is planning to go pro. Because of that, I think that you will see more pro bodies, and this sort of will probably sit in the middle. And one of the dead giveaways is probably the fact that there is a single card slot, which a lot of people have been making a big deal about. But considering this isn't their top end, it'd be nice that they have two, but they don't. Like most manufacturers, right? The entry level, mid level doesn't have two card slots like other brands. But to me, the main features that I like about this is the top panel. I like the grip. I like the fully articulating screen. And for those of you that are moving from DSLR to mirrorless, you're really gonna like the EVF. Oh, you know what? One of the things I should have checked is, as I mentioned, this cable management system. I think that's really what this is for. And let's just take a look at this. So it has all the inputs here. It has microphone and headphone input, which is nice. It has their remote control, I guess. Here, it looks like it's a 2.5 millimeter, so it's for remote release, maybe for intervalometer. And there is that little screw hole there. So this should kind of go in. I hope I'm doing this right. Yes, so there you go. That's what that's for. That hooks onto the side here, and so allows for the cable management to be put through here and then through this way here. So if you have the HDMI or USB Type-C cable plugged in here and you're moving around, this is on a tripod in a studio, you can use the cable management system there to keep it from pulling odd. Pulling it so that you don't break the actual connectors in here, right? You're pulling it from here. So that's actually a nice addition, especially for video guys. That's kind of something that's included in the system, but it has all the connectors that you want. It's nice that it's left-sided, and it's all sort of weather sealed in, and then the card slot, even though there's just one, is on the grip side or on the right side. So once you have this put on a tripod, you can access everything from the sides. There's no need to go to the bottom. You can grab the battery from the bottom, but I can tell already by the centered tripod threading here that even with the tripod here, I have a tripod plate here. So you have that on there, you see that? You can still access the battery, which is fantastic. So, all right, I'll stop talking and we will now go back. Hey guys, so I finished the unboxing. I charged up the battery. I don't want to be like, keep on going on about the charger here, but it's a fantastic charger. It even has the multiple bleep, the lights that tells you as it gets closer to 100%. So it was doing like the 3 blinks that's telling me it's 75% charged, which I love. And again, this little side thing, it keeps everything so compact. I love good chargers, and this is a fantastic one. So thank you, Canon, for focusing on something as mundane as a charger, but it works fantastic. But I got so excited that I forgot to do the unboxing of the adapter. And you know, it's not an exciting thing to unbox, but actually this is a very important accessory if either if you are coming from the EOS, the DSLR system, either the EF or the EF-S, even if you buying full frame mirrorless for the first time, when you buy this is just the standard EF-2R adapter, and there's nothing to it. There's no lens on here, there's no glass or anything. All it does is, as I mentioned before, this sensor has a 20 millimeter back, the flange distance from the lens mount to the sensor is like 20 millimeters. The EOS DSLR EF is like 46 or 48 millimeters. And so this basically compensates for where the mirror should be, and then all the lenses that are put on any of the EF or EF-S lenses. If it's the EF-S, which is the cropped lenses, then you're gonna get that crop. But if you're shooting video, the punch-in on the, if you're shooting 4K is about 1.7 times anyway, so it works out for video. So if you're kind of a vlogger, those EF-S lenses would be fantastic on this. But if you're shooting stills, I'd stick with the EF lenses if you want to take advantage of this full frame sensor. But you pop this on, and because Canon is just a full electronic connection, all the motors in every EF lens and EF-S lenses that ever made since 1987 is all electronic controlled. So other brands that might come out with mirrorless full frame or not, that have, they say that legacy lenses work, they don't all work 100%, meaning maybe autofocus might not work unless there's a motor built into the mount, or aperture stop down won't work. Canon has always been electronic, and because of that, this is all you need. And from the tests that we've seen on YouTube, you could check out other YouTubers, they're saying it's as quick, and it makes sense because really it's the motor that's doing all the hard work. And because there's more contacts here on this new this RF mount, not only will it work with past lenses, but any future lenses that they come out with the EF mount, you could just pop it on to the RF mount, because right now there's only 4 lenses available, and you could tell that the 4 lenses that are available really is Canon's, they're kind of flexing their engineering muscles, because you know, basically because of this new mount that they have, it's a 54 millimeter diameter, which is the same as the EF mount, with a 20 millimeter flange back distance. It's supposed to make lenses faster and smaller, and you can see, well definitely this is smaller than the EF 24-105, and it's lighter, and even though it looks, I mean, it's big, but it's still, for mirrorless, it's not bad for a constant 24-105, and it is image stabilized. But what they can do with this shorter flange distance with a large diameter mount is that they can come up with a lens like the 20-70 f2, which is the first time anyone's been able to do that. Well, that's because, again, of the flange back distance with the diameter, as well as the 51-2 L series. Now, neither of those are image stabilized because they would make it even bigger, but it shows you what they can do. And it's not to say that in the future Canon won't put IBIS into their systems, but they do have a point, which is their image stabilization is based per lens. So each lens has different requirements. That doesn't really help with legacy lenses or lenses from other brands. So if you want to put even old Canon FD lenses, it would be nice if the sensor did stabilize, and so that's something that Canon can consider in the future. But for now, with this new design, the lenses, so this is about 5 stops of stabilization, which is fantastic. And as I look through here, I can really see how stabilized, like, Canon is really well known for their image stabilization, and they were one of the first, I think they were the first to bring to market the image stabilization to interchangeable lens cameras. I think it was the 70-300 f4 to 5.6 or something like that, or 300 f4. One of those lenses, they were the first to bring image stabilization optical, and so they do that really well, and I can see that with this lens. The advantages of having this, so my first impressions as I'm playing around with it is the future of mirrorless for Canon. So if you are a current Canon shooter, I think the future is mirrorless. DSLRs will still exist, but what you'll notice if you have not gone into mirrorless yet is the fact that instead of having to go to live view on your DSLR and have to rely on the screen, now you have an EVF, and you could see all the information inside, like whatever you can see here, you could see in here, and there's less reason to chimp, because even when you take a picture, you can then see the image inside here. So if you press play, you can see your images through here. You can just flip your LCD screen back, and so you don't ever need this. So you're at a concert, you want to keep yourself low profile, you don't want to bother your neighbors, you just put this backwards like this, you shoot, you can look inside, you can do all your adjustments in screen, and that is really the future of, for me, interchangeable lens cameras. So the new Canon EOS R kit with the 24-105 f4 constant. Fantastic kit. Thank you again, Canon Canada, for letting me do this unboxing and first impressions video. Hopefully you'll let me borrow it for a little bit longer later on and do my first shooting impressions with it. And as well, thank you so much, London Drugs, for doing this collaboration with me. If you are in Western Canada and you are looking to buy new camera gear, London Drugs is a fantastic place for you to shop. You can even do online. If you can book an online appointment with a expert, they can sort of walk you through the different cameras you can get. They have a trade-in, trade-up program. So if you have an older, let's say you have a DSLR and you just kind of want to trade it in and get something like this, you can do so, or you can trade up. It's not just cameras, but lenses, flashes, video cameras as well. And they also do price matching, and as well with the trade-in, trade-up program, they will also make sure that you get the best possible price. And so again, look for more videos with me here on London Drugs YouTube channel, and look for more collaborations. Check out my YouTube channel as well. And as we talk about doing different things together, don't forget to like the video, guys, because that will really help me make more videos with London Drugs. And again, not just digital photography, but London Drugs is still heavily invested in print as well as film development. And you can get your film. So if you're a film photographer, still come to London Drugs. You can get your slides done. You can get your prints done. You can as well get professional images blown up. They have 1-hour services and passport pictures, pretty much anything to do with photography, drones, video. You can buy TVs, speaker cables. I bought my speaker cables here. Whatever it is that you need, come to London Drugs, and people will be able to help you here because, well, they're well trained. And if you like makeup, they have makeup too, and prescription drugs. But that's it. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you soon, and we'll see you. Well, we'll see you around. And I'll be shooting with this. Can you hear that? It's that shutter. It's that shutter that's opening and closing. That's really smart. Thank you, Canon. That's good to keep the dust off the sensor. So thanks for watching, and happy shooting. I gotta get rid of that beeping sound, but anyways. And now the card is full. I should have put a clean card in here, but that's it. Talk to you soon.